Do you experience pain, burning, or limitations of speed and expression when playing the piano? At the Well-Balanced Pianist, one of our 6 core elements is healthy technique, as exemplified by the Taubman Approach. In the second video of our series on healthy pianism, Dr. Teresa Dybvig details the seemingly simple but profound sequence of movements required to bring the hand and forearm to the piano. If you haven't watched the first video in the series, you can find a link in the description below. And now, without further ado, Dr. Dybvig.
Thank you, Benjamin. In this video, I'm going to show you how to move your hands to the keyboard while maintaining your natural side-to-side wrist alignment, this shape of the wrist that you would see when your hand hangs at the side at ease. Then I'm going to show you a few of the common ways people lose their alignment along the way. This is a basic skill. It's so basic, most people wouldn't think of it as a skill. However, every time we play the piano, we first move our hands to the keyboard, and then we begin playing in the shape we arrived in. So you can see why it's important to maintain our natural side-to-side wrist alignment as we move to the keyboard. Here's how. I cannot overstate how important it is for you to review your own side-to-side wrist shape before continuing. Take a trip to a mirror if necessary. We are all different. It's very unlikely that your hand shape matches mine. I've only met one person in my life outside my family whose hands were shaped like mine, so you really do not want to imitate my shape. Rather, try out my strategies while maintaining your shape. Begin with your hand at rest at your side. Experiment now with toning your hands enough to feel like moving, feeling minimal muscular engagement, as Susan Nowicki says. The hand at rest at the side is a wonderful, always available model for many things, but it is too limp to maintain its shape while moving. This minimal muscular engagement allows the hand-forearm unit, wrist included, to move in alignment. Here's the sequence. First, let your hands rest, then feel that gentle engagement, then hip hinge slightly back and forward to bring your gently toned hand to the keyboard. If you're working with both hands, hip hinge once again to bring your second hand to the keyboard. I hope you'll feel that another benefit of this gentle engagement is that it allows the hand to arrive at the key so gently that the impact doesn't change the shape of the hand. At the keyboard, check your alignment. I've learned the hard way that I need to keep checking. Don't worry if you don't see the shape that you saw in the mirror. Just revisit the sequence. Resting, engaging, hip hinging, moving, and checking until you're satisfied that your wrist arrives in its natural shape. You'll get it if you keep paying attention. How do people lose their side-to-side wrist alignment as they move to the keyboard? This journey is largely automatic for people, so any misalignment is probably very habitual. That means that learning what we do can tell us a lot about our playing. Pianists tend to lose our side-to-side wrist alignment at either the very beginning of our movement to the keyboard or when our hand is at key level. Many other things can happen along the way, but these are the 2 places I most often see people lose their wrist shape. Relaxation to the point of collapse is one reason people lose alignment right at the outset of their movement to the keyboard. Look at this deep angle, or twist, as Dorothy Taubman called it, that I get when my hand hangs limply from my forearm as I begin to move. It's not always that dramatic, but even a little affects our playing. That's one reason we need to feel that minimal muscular engagement before we begin to move to the keyboard. People who move in that limp way tend to believe that relaxation is the only alternative to tension. In reality, relaxation and tension are only at the extremes of a continuum. It's interesting to consider how that toned engagement, that's the essence of fun and lively movement, is in the middle of that continuum. Very frequently, I see thumbs pulling back at the outset of our movement to the keyboard, straightening the outside of the wrist. Sometimes Thumbs move forward at the very beginning of that movement, angling the outside of the wrist. On the other side of the hand, people's fifth fingers sometimes line up with the outside of the forearm, just as they begin to move to the piano. Almost everyone's fifth fingertips and some people's fourth fingertips are not only in front of their forearms when at rest, but also out to the side. So pulling them to line up with the forearm straightens the wrist. Another movement that straightens the wrist is long fingers pulling toward the thumb. At key level, at the final approach to the key, is where you'll see any tendency of the fingers to position themselves according to the key. Here are a couple of examples. If the fingers tend to position themselves on 5 white keys in a row, at key level is where you'll see them begin to move to claim their key. You'll see the positioning clearly when they arrive at the key. Whether or not the fingers curl in to stay in the white part of the key, this molding of the hand to match the shape of the piano causes a deep angle in the wrist, in the middle register, and causes the wrist to be straightened out in the outer register. If someone tends to line playing fingers up on their keys, they will angle or straighten their wrists at key level depending on the register they start in. Here, my fifth finger will straighten my wrist to line up on its bass note. It will pull my wrist into an angle at key level to line up behind a note in the middle register. It's always good to remember what Dorothy Taubman said: you can play a key at any angle and it will be fine. But you never want to play at an angle to yourself. That's it for how to maintain your natural side-to-side wrist alignment as you move your hands to the keyboard. I hope it is of benefit.
Thank you, Dr. Dybvig. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe, and you can find more about our upcoming programs on our website, www.wellbalancedpianist.com.